Hi, welcome to the Stock and Knit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J-Knitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 221. Should we wear tutus next one?
All the tutus. I don't think I have tutus anymore. I think all of them have been rehomed.
I think they're pretty easy to make. Buy some tulle.
Yeah.
I've done that. Is that a or a meh?
Neh.
Neh.
No.
A no meh?
Yeah. Yes.
Neh. Okay. Works for me.
I
got to explain backronym to people at work today. Because they didn't understand what a backronym was. Do you know what a backronym is? I thought it was just pop culture that everybody knew what a backronym was. It's basically like an acrostic, right? Like you take something that wasn't really an acronym from the get-go and you apply letters to it, like if you were doing Maegan, like in school, and then you do it on the vertical, and then on the horizontal you say, you know, M is for mom, E is for, yeah. Anyway, let's not do it on there. But yeah, so the thing we were talking about was the programming language Perl, because we're super cool kids, and it has a backronym. Like they've created a backronym for the programming language Perl. Yeah, it wasn't originally one, but they created something for it. That's a backronym. Okay. Use it in a sentence today. No. I'm not the boss of you? That was the kind of the tone that you had there. No. I'm not going to give you a neh. I'm going to give you no.
Can't make me.
Have a been?
Good. Tired.
Yeah?
Very, very, very tired.
And what brought about this tiredness?
I was standing on my feet for 3 days straight. 3 long days straight. Judging some CrossFitters at the Granite Games in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Wow, what a time was had. It felt a lot like getting thrown in the deep end of a pool. Because the limited amount of instruction I thought I had, paled in comparison to real live action, watching something go down in front of you. So yeah, when I finally got to actually judging, I realized that, oh wow, it became easier throughout the day, right? You do something long enough, you get used to it, you are okay with it. But yeah, those first few heats, I apologize to anybody who had me as a judge in those first 2 heats.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't apologize because I wasn't counting anything that was wrong. I apologize to the people after that where I was vigilant and made sure that everything that I saw wrong was called. And I'm sure that was not appreciated. You know what? The true athletes actually did appreciate it, because if they go to this event and they get called on something, and they go to the next event and they get called on something, they'll eventually understand that that's not the standard for the movement. They need to correct it.
Yep.
So yeah, I had a lot of thank yous and a lot of good jobs, and you made me a better athlete was one of them. Yeah. And yeah, I have a new respect for the masters athletes. So masters athletes, it's 35 and older. Those are the olds in the sport. But there is a 55 and plus category, so it goes up there. And but they were the nicest, most. They were cheering on their fellow competitors. Like they had a respect for the sport, and a camaraderie that was just really neat to see. The young guns were a few of them, they congratulate each other, but it just wasn't the same as the Masters division. The Masters division was just a true love fest. And so I really appreciated them as competitors, and I think that I will be keeping a special eye on them now that I've had a chance to work with them. I saw my first day, I judged somebody who was seated kind of low on the totem pole, and he ended up third. Wow. So I thought that was really cool. So I forget.
Up and coming?
Yeah, I forget his last name. He's Marquan or Kwani Kwan. So I'm excited to see Kwan compete in the CrossFit Games and hopefully do really well in the sport, because he was a stand-up guy. He was really, really nice, really polite. I no-repped him. He asked me afterwards why. I told him. He was like, oh, okay. You know, just like, yep, I probably did that. Heat of the moment, you know, you forget your standards. Anyway, it was really, really, really long days. And, you know, you don't realize how hard standing is until you do a lot of it.
Yeah.
And holding your arm above your head. Because I had to count out the last 5 reps for every person with my hands up. And, you know, when they're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's no big deal. But when they're struggling and you have to hold your hand up there for a good 20 minutes, it's a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else happened that weekend. I had Tanya, my roommate, who was really, really wonderful, and she's super into the CrossFit judging world. I will be looking for her on TV now that I know she is super into it.
Cool.
And she's going to start a podcast. She was inspired. I told her about our podcast, and because we were just getting to know each other, and had said that I had planned events, and that led to talking about the podcast. And she had been thinking about doing one, so now
A CrossFit one?
Yes, for judging.
Okay.
Specifically for judging.
Oh, wow.
And again, I think it's something that, like, if you're a prospective judge or you are a judge, you would really get a lot of information out of. So I think that that's a great idea, and I can't wait for Tanya's judgment. Whatever she calls her podcast. And it was good to have a guide. You know, Tanya had done it a lot before, so she wasn't on my particular competition floor, but every night when we were getting ready for the next day, it was like I could like get pointers and talk about what happened that day, and she can understand. You know, she was once new at the thing like me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. Got to meet some great people in the sport, and it is crazy to be around that level of competition and sport for that many days in a row. These are top athletes. Amazing work. I mean, even some people that probably didn't feel like they were the top athletes, I was just amazed by their determination and their perseverance. There was one girl that I judged was doing chest to bars, which is, you know, you do a chin up or a pull up and you get your chin above the bar. This is, you got to put the bar to your chest. She was muscling through some of those. Usually it's a gymnastics movement. You swing and you could swing up, makes it a lot easier. She was just muscling through and pop, you know, and she did so many that way that I was just amazed. I'm like, how? Saw some people do amazing things.
Yeah. Was it motivating to come back and... No?
I did yoga. And no, yesterday I did bring Sally up again. And I just realized that, you know, I'm not at their level. But yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Yeah. There are things in there that I want to be able to do, and I will get back at it. But I'm so tired that yoga's about all I can handle. And I skipped today because I need to get some work done.
Yeah. So thought process beforehand, we had this conversation, and I thought it was similar. It was entertaining, I guess. What beforehand was, it couldn't be much worse than being a retreat organizer, right? Running a retreat. And you said it wasn't worse, but it was about the same.
It was about the same.
Yeah.
As far as like, I learned that, and again, everybody out there that has this knowledge, you're going, oh my God, Doi, why didn't you know this? Magnesium. Have you ever taken magnesium?
No.
My roommate had magnesium. I took half a pill. Oh my God, I need this for our retreat. It slows your mind down. So if you're thinking of 100 different things that you have to do tomorrow, and you're just like, I cannot sleep, this is driving me crazy. Magnesium. It slowed my brain down, and I was amazed. Like, I was only thinking of like one or two things, and I slowly just went, sleep, and fell asleep. So, and again, this was after, I was like, I didn't sleep very well. I spent 2 hours thinking about my day and what I had to do the next day, and I couldn't sleep, and blah, blah, blah. And my roommate gave me some magnesium. It was awesome.
You don't think it was a placebo or anything?
It could be, but I really doubt it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the energy level that you get from doing something like that, right? Or just a retreat, right? You just, like, you have all those things.
You're on, and then you got to turn off and go to sleep.
And you can't, and it's super hard. And somebody was like, well, magnesium or a glass of wine, right? And I'm like, well, I suppose, but I didn't have wine.
Wine has magnesium in it?
No, but they were saying it would have this.
Just kidding, Amy.
Woo! You played the dumb blonde so well. I fell for it.
I'm trying to think of anything exciting happened here. Soccer mom now, so soccer 4 nights a week between the 2 children. My daughter is super getting into it. I don't know anybody else in her life that is like that gets into something and then wants to practice like an hour before supper, and then nobody is like that in this family. Very extreme about things that they're interested in doing. And went, soccer games on Saturdays, and went on a pokey walk with the kids on Sunday, and was knitting on, not these socks because I just started them, but with the same yarn. And a little girl stopped me and was like, oh, that's so pretty, I really love it. And I'm like, yeah, the colorway is called Them Unicorns, like Them Unicorns, and it's sparkly, and it just really reminds me of unicorns, and do you like unicorns? And I look up, and she's wearing like a sparkly unicorn shirt. She was just like, oh. And I was like, yeah, this would be perfect yarn for you. But yeah, yep. I mean, we can talk about it in enabling, but between the last time we podcasted and this podcast, we lost a member of our yarny knitting community. Maegan of Cyborgs Craft Room unexpectedly passed away. And it really hit me very hard that weekend. I think just because it was such a shock, right? Like, I was assuming I would see her at Vogue Knitting Live, and that, I remember going through the thought process at our market that like, oh, I'll hold off on getting that because I'll get it the next time I see her. And that those kind of assumptions when something very drastic happens just kind of smack you in the face, right? Like, wow, I can't really assume that I'm going to see, anybody another time. Yarn vendors, friends. It really reminded me a lot of losing my sister, because very young, vibrant, fun, full of life person just ripped from your life, right? And then some of the ZK prep and knowing that we aren't going to have her in our goodie bags, that she won't be applying to vend. Again, these are all ways in which her loss affected my life. I can't even imagine her family, Danny, her helper in the studio when she was dyeing yarn. But I went a little crazy on my yarn purchases. as kind of, and have been doing the KAL and spending a lot of contemplative time. So there's a For Maegan KAL out there. And yeah, she was just really talented. I really loved her color sense and her fun play on words. One of my favorite memories of her is going up to Shepherd's Harvest, and she was part of our goodie bag for many ZKs, as well as part of our birthday kits, which was awesome to deal with her with. But the Shepherd's Harvest would have been for ZK, and we just both had like the funnest time pretending that we were going into the parking lot to have like a illicit transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to the parking lot, she's gonna give me something out of her trunk, we gotta go to the car, and I'm here, I'm gonna, did you want that money in 20s, or is it okay if I write you a check? She very full of life and fun, and I can't remember if that was Northern Lights or if that was, which is one of my favorite colorways of hers.
Or Deepwater.
Yeah.
The first layer.
Yeah. But my heart goes out to everyone that whose life intersected with hers for the short time that we had her. Because if you did, you know what you're missing out on now. So. Deep breath and maybe a moment of silence for her. Did you want to say anything? Not to put you on the spot, but
no, I think right away on that first post that I saw about her passing, I said Minnesota lost another great artist this year, because a lot of her colorways had Minnesota themes to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
She definitely got into the, more of the geek culture, as was Cyborgs craft room. And so I think that appealed to us as well as her color sense. But super talented, and she left her mark. There's a lot of I have beautiful finished objects. Ellie's Hito Fude. I knit Susan a Hito Fude out of her yarn. Just a lot of beautiful, people were posting collages out on Instagram, and the world is both very large and very small, on the number of people whose, lives she touched was very large, but yet it feels like we're all such a small community, but yeah, tough to lose her, and I actually, we'll segue here so that we don't go too deep. I bought, but decided that I can part with this. So we will be hosting a giveaway for the For Maegan KAL. This is her Sparklate, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. It's a super soft base. I really like it, and this is Space Princess. And I think I was drawn to it because of the pinks and the oranges. She did a really good job with oranges. Like we had our Orange You Glad, Aren't You Happy? It's pink because it was our Knit Happy.
Yep, and it was pink and orange.
Yep, and Ellie actually selected that for her leggings. Before I knew, and I also had my Rhinebeck sweater out of her analog base before I knew that we had lost her. So I will be knitting on that coming up. So if you see a lot of her yarn, it's because I'm keeping her in my heart and my thoughts. Although the finished object was very bittersweet, I'd have to say, to think that it's so beautiful, and I'm glad that I used the yarn to create that beauty, but then it made me sad because it's it's not something that I will be able to ever replace, right? Kind of has that like fleeting moment of it's beautiful, but I'm not going to be able to get any more Maegan colorways. So yep, Space Princess, and I think I would like to know what you would knit with it. So such a standard prompt, but I think that post a picture or something, a link to the pattern, or if that doesn't suit you and you would like to share something, a moment that you've had, a memory with Maegan, that would be good as well.
Yes.
Yes. Deep breaths. It's hard to follow up heavy conversations like that with lighthearted knitting jibber jabber, but we shall try. So we had ZK 2017 signups.
We did.
That's something to be excited about. I believe it brings a lot of people into together and into our lives, and that makes me happy, because a lot of people did get to meet Maegan because she came to ZK and they came to ZK. And sorry if I'm not talking about myself in the third person, if saying Maegan is, I need to uniqueify it. It's M-A-E-G, not M-E-G. So thank you to everybody that signed up. I believe that's the fastest that we've gone through those 200 spots, and we have the wait list up and going. Also sent out an email with the links to the hotel. So hopefully you received your email about that. PayPal was very slow yesterday with emails, so had a couple of people kind of freak out about not getting that, and whether or not they were signed up and whether there would be spots. But it was definitely if you went into your PayPal, you could see that you paid, and that meant that you had a spot, and you should have received an email today confirming that. But we also have the birthday kits coming up.
Yes, we do.
So October is 5 years of podcasting.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Is 5 years like paper in marriage? I don't remember. He was like, I just had my 12th anniversary with my husband. Ask me how I know, because I got one coming up this weekend. And I don't know what 12 years is in materials either, for that matter. But super excited about the birthday kits. Brand new, brand newish to us, dyer that will be bringing to you, introducing to you, maybe not introducing to you. You may be familiar with them, but I'm excited about it. They will go live Friday, September 23rd at 4 p.m. And all of this information will be out on stockingazombies.com, as well as our Instagram feed. The kits are $60. They include a bag, yarn, which isn't just a skein of yarn this year. That's the only hint I'm going to give about that. It may be a skein and another or something. And then goodies. So that it's the 60. And then $5 domestic shipping, $25 international, and as we've done in the past, if there's an overage there, we refund that back to the international folks. There's 100 kits, and the theme, which we've decided to reveal this year, is knitting is my superpower. And so on IG and our website, if you want a little hinty / sneak peek of the colors, and perhaps a hint of the graphic that will be a part of that theme, you can take a sneaky peeky there. Or if you would like to sign up and be completely surprised about what shows up in your inbox in October, or your mailbox in October. These will be closer to the end of October this year, because timelines have kind of moved out a little bit here, and our signups are a little later. So, but yes, go live Friday, September 23rd, 4 p.m. Sneak peek available. I'm super excited about it.
And if all of this has made you curious about our runaway that we do in late October, early November, we have decided to make that part of Vogue Knitting Live.
Yep.
So this year it will be in downtown Minneapolis. But again, details coming. I just wanted to let people know that.
Yeah, we do plan to have it, but yeah, it would have been a lot to ask of our families to abandon them one weekend and then go up to Vogue Knitting Live the next. So we decided to combine them, and it should be fun because there might be a more extended number of people coming into town for that large event. And let's support Vogue Knitting Live, blah, 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 as it comes into Minneapolis.
Yes. I would love to see it come again.
Yes.
I noticed that a lot of our LYSs are vendors at the
Cool.
Vogue Knitting Live, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that's it. Administrati done?
Yeah, we still got the self-striping KAL going on and the Persian Dreams KAL going on.
We sure do.
And then I think in lieu of doing a KAL this month, I would like to encourage people to do the for Maegan Cyborgs Craft Room KAL.
Yep.
And away we go. I'm super excited about the birthday kits. Those include our designs as well, which is a big exciting thing. Yep. Yarn has arrived. I'm excited to get it on the needles and ooh and all over it.
She gets to put it on the needles. I have to wait.
We'll get you the yarn soon. Grr. Grr. It's pretty. We may have arm wrestled for it, although I think you might beat me at arm wrestling, so I might not be able to say that. Maybe we sprinted for it? Would I be able to beat you in a foot race?
Definitely.
I think we're gonna have some people calling out like, we want to see this Maegan versus Amy arm wrestling.
As long as there's also the sprint, so that I can just kind of go like this. I'm the turtle. She's the hare. I did not run.
Yeah. Is that like the contest where you're like, okay, we're gonna see who can hit the lightest. You go first.
Yeah.
Bam, just bam you in the arm. Yeah, Maegan, I'll race you. Sure.
And then you take off, and I'm just going like, okay, I'm gonna sit here.
Woo! Go Maegan, go!
No, it was. It came to your house, so therefore you were closest to it.
I laid claim. Although it would be easier to lay claim if I had actually gotten it on the needles.
Yes, this is true. It might still come home with me. Find it again and take it.
Claws out. All right.
Okay.
I think that's Administrati. We've been jibber-jabbering for a long time. Let's talk about finished objects, because I see a beautiful one you're wearing.
Yes, so I got my Beach Please done out of the Leading Men Fiber Arts lace weight. Yeah.
I love that green.
Yeah. Lightning Bug is green, and the gray is London Fog. It was fun.
It's a good gray.
I didn't have to rip anything out too bad on this particular sweater, which in my WIPs you will see that I have all sorts of woes with the WIPs right now. I think that my knitting brain capacity is right here.
Stuck in a sock.
Stuck in its sock. And ooh, look at the pretty stripes. That's where I am with my knitting.
The yarn does all the work.
Yes. That's what I need.
Look at what I'm doing.
Yes.
But really, it's the yarn.
Isn't it fancy? It's so fancy. I think that the main thing is that once I had gotten this into the round, I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be motivated. But I was super motivated because at first it was boring because I had been knitting so much lace. Stocking it just wasn't cutting it, and I just felt so bored with it. But then after a while I got into a groove, and I was like, no, this is fast and I want to get it done. So I powered through, got it off the needles, blocked it, and now it is a wearable garment. I'm not sure if I like the darker gray that I put under it today, but
I like it. You can really see the lace. So like I've worn mine with like a gray on and you can't really see like the actual lace.
Mhm.
I'm like staring at Amy's chest. She's like, could you please? My face is up here. But yes, it's very nice. I really like the colors. I really like the way it fits on you. I really like the sleeve. It's just nice. It's nice.
It is. It's a nice one. Fall. So I have blocked this vamping, and I thought I would show it because when I was blocking it, I blocked it kind of leafy.
Mm-hmm.
With some points in here. These had points at some point. Points at some point. Yeah, they're there. So, yeah.
I was pulling it too taut.
Yeah. There's points all along, and it looks kind of leafy.
Is that
So I thought that
per
was fun.
instructions, or you decided that you wanted it to be kind of leafy?
I believe that the instructions have it very triangular, straight lines, and when I was blocking it, a lot of the areas that ended up being very pointy in here that's what it naturally wanted to be. So I decided to go with it, and so on the straight edges I actually put the points in there as well. But I don't know, I thought it was really cute when it turned out a little leafier than before.
Wool is amazing stuff.
Yeah,
I really needed you around the other day, or any knitter for that matter, but like it was a tale of woe. I was ripping out a whole sweater that I had knit for Ellie. But because it didn't work out, there was something in the design that I didn't, it was a design of mine, so it was the designer's fault.
Yeah.
And I actually put it on, like before I ripped it. I was like, look, it fits me. Isn't wool amazing, Jeremy? And he was just like, right, like, yeah, wool's amazing, Maegan. It's like, no, seriously, this is a garment that fit our daughter, and it can stretch enough to fit me. Like, that's amazing. But anyway, it was lost on him.
Well, it's also that it's a knit instead of a weave.
Yep.
Weaves do not stretch very much.
This is true. This is true. And it did have positive ease. I'm not bragging about my size. It literally was like that the yarn could stretch. It was not becoming. It was like a crop top. She doesn't have the torso length that I have, but it went over my head and it fit me. So, and then I ripped it out. You know, you just got to check these things. Like if a bag will fit on your head, or if your daughter's sweater that you're going to rip out fits on you.
Yeah, if you're Maegan.
Apparently you like to size things relative to other things. Sue me. All right. I've got a ton of socks because I've been doing a lot of designing, but I'm trying to keep up on my another week, another pair resolution. And so these are the Snappy Sock from Spun Right Round. I'm noticing that kind of the motif, I switched it up, but when you get kind of towards the top, you don't see it because it all just feeds into it anyway. But this is with her Corriedale. It's very speckle-tastic, and I absolutely love it. And so I asked Miss Ellie if she was interested in a pair, and was on yarn fumes with this, I think because I made the top part a little taller so I could finish the motif on the front. But she loves them as well. She was like, I'm going to wear them tomorrow. And I was like, no, you're not, because I'm going to talk about them on the podcast first before you wear. So got those done, and that's just with the extra from that. Never too many, no such thing as too many matching mother-daughter socks, right? And then I went out to Simply Sock Yarn. That's where I got this Space Princess, and you'll see in enabling I got some other stuff as well. But this is Dem Unicorns from Cyborgs Craft Room on the Sparklate base, and I decided that they would make fantastico monkeys. And so they are sparkly unicorn monkeys, which I thought was fun. The monkey sock.
Monkey corn?
I think that they're unicorn monkeys. The monkeys that have unicorns. Monkey corns sound like don't know what it sounds like. Something that you grow in Iowa. Yeah, I enjoyed the sparkle. I enjoyed how each row kind of was its own little thing. I had a question out on Instagram on whether or not these were the out of print version, toe up version of the monkeys. And basically, I just used my Spacious OMG toe up heel or toe up sock, Spacious OMG heel toe up sock pattern, and then I put the motif. So they're not literally the same as the top down because I haven't reversed the motif. My V's are going up and feeding in. If they were doing it, they would be going the opposite direction if you did them from the top down. But yeah, there's not much that you could throw at the monkey sock pattern that I don't think that wouldn't look just fantastic, in my opinion. And this is a very generous skein of yarn, so I've got quite a bit to make some more for Ellie. So I'm just making a little smaller motif. And these will be rollers because I asked her and she insists that she wants the rollers. I'm like, are you sure you don't want like ribbing or, like I've got enough yarn with some of these that I want the rollers. Those are my jam, yo. So it's just really pretty. And I really like the sparkle. I didn't think that I'd like the sparkle, but I really like the sparkle. This is a colorway that I enjoyed. All of the sparkly ones that I got are colorways that I enjoyed that I would have gotten if they weren't on the sparkle base, but they were only available on the sparkle base. So I kind of fell into the sparkles. I didn't knowingly go into the sparkle, but or I didn't want to go into the sparkle. I was kind of forced into it, given supply and demand and whatnot. But that's all that's fit to show. Okay. Socktacular.
Yeah. I am like prepping up for Socktober apparently. I started this plain Jane Somebody Says Boo, and I really like how these stripes are. Super cute.
So that is Desert Vista Dye Works?
Yes.
Really fun kind of variegated purple stripe in there.
Yeah,
I really like that.
They're the Somebodies, right? So
Oh,
they
yep.
have the speckles in there. So I'll talk about my next sock. I started and got a little bit further on the second sock for this pattern that I am writing up. So there's that. Fun, fun, fun.
Coordinating heels and toes, and that is, what's the yarn?
It is a Dancing Dog Dye Works. It is the Obi-Wan Knitter colorway.
Orange is definitely coming back into my, like,
Yeah.
I don't mind you this time of year.
So then I also started up my design with the lovely, amazing DK.
I had a womp.
Oh no.
Yeah, mine don't have enough contrast for my color work.
Oh.
So, yeah.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but
It seemed very opposites to me.
they did, but you couldn't see the motif. Maybe I should try it again and give it a few more rows or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But just ribbing right now. There's a little bit more planning that has to go into the finished section. So I did change up what I had originally thought I was going to do. So I need to recount my stitches and make sure that my new motif fits into the stitch count. That could be a problem. But it happens. Yeah. You redesign. Hopefully I don't have to rip it out. I don't want to. And
Especially when it's ribbing.
Yes. I got some fancy apples from the Fat Squirrel. I think they're adorable. I thought I was ordering like a bigger size, but apparently I was just ordering this size.
It's got a wonderful Weird Al button on it.
It does.
He's the apple of your eye.
Sure is.
Not your punky plum. Apple girl.
So I had to rip out a lot of this sweater because I was trying to do mindless knitting on it, and I ended up screwing up the chevron. So at some point I started, instead of going like this, I started going like this on a particular one.
She zigged when she was supposed to zag.
I did, and it was terrible. Besides that, I had also had an off by 1 error, so I put stitch markers in, which I didn't think I needed, but apparently I do. So I put stitch markers in, I ripped back, and now I am back rocking and rolling again. But to give an indication, you can see that I have a lot of stuff wrapped around the outside.
Yep.
What I did learn, though, is that when you rip out and you wrap it up, this yarn actually gets a lot softer. So this will be nice when it's washed and manhandled.
Is that Habu Textiles? Is that right?
No, it's Ito.
Oh, that's right.
So it's very similar. Sorry, let me grab the tag really quick. It's the Jima 8.5. It's a cotton. And it's like knitting with paper. But like I said, when I ripped out and I put it back, it actually softened up and it was less like knitting like paper. But again, it's
Is that one, oh, you didn't have to ball that one. Because with like your linen, you said you had to, yeah.
This one I didn't, nobody gave that direction to me. And they already came skeined, balled, whatever you want to call it. Caked. And so, yeah, this is not mindless knitting, and hopefully someday I will get caught up to where I was, because I felt like I was cruising on it until I noticed that mistake. And then I lost my heart, right? Like I didn't want to pick it back up and keep cruising on it again.
Wah, wah.
So it was not necessarily set aside, but I'm not solely knitting on it anymore, which I was for a while there. It was my one love, and I was going crazy, and then it disappointed me.
And it flirted with your friend.
Yeah. So then I was gonna pick up my bolting, which was way bigger than this when I picked it up, and I was cruising along on it for not that long, like about 4 rows. And then I looked at it and I'm like, something's wrong right here. Something's wrong right there. And I was looking at it, and the zigzag, the bolting part of it, was wrong on one of the bolts. And I was like, oh, no. So I looked to see if I could fix it. No, couldn't fix it. I was trying to think about what to do, but basically I put in a provisional and I went all the way back down to nearly the beginning. So this is where I'm at. I'm back to just like one little kink in my bolt. And it was sad to do, but I had put it down for so long, I don't know what I did wrong. And I wasn't in a rhythm with it. I couldn't figure out what had happened. So we're going to start over, and hopefully the alpaca will just call to me as the weather goes cooler and cooler and cooler, so that I can have this wrap with me eventually. But yeah, that was another sad wah wah. But that's really all that's fit to be shown. I will pull out that I balled up some Cyborgs Craft Room stepping stone for some socks for my husband.
That is a nice husband sock color.
Yeah. So I haven't quite figured out what pattern I want to do for that, but October is coming, so I have just a few more weeks to work on other things before I put them down for October. So I want to make sure that what I'm knitting on is not socks, except for when I need mindless knitting on the podcast. So
you're going to join me in my crazy sock knitting in October, huh?
Yes.
That's when everybody else becomes like Maegan.
Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to try to finish the socks that I have on the needles and start the man socks. So my son and my husband will get socks. I will not finish the man socks, but I do want to finish all of my in-progress socks. I have 3 in-progress socks. So that's going to be a challenge in and of itself, plus starting the other 2. But that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
All right. Works in progress. I have Ellie's rollers, the modified smaller monkey pattern that I just came up with as we were sitting here. So hopefully it doesn't look too dissimilar, but it's a similar branching. And then I'm also knitting a sweater that will be a design that's going to be in the Knit Cahoots Minnesota 52 book, but Ellie will be wearing it at Rhinebeck, so you might get a sneak peek if you're going to Rhinebeck. Mm. This is the one that I tried on, but now no more trying on. So just a peek at the purple. I knit, what did I knit out of this purple and had a lot left over? This is BFL from Northumbria DK from Miss Babs in the Clematis colorway. And wow, what did I knit? It was that really cool, you can wear it frontwards and backwards. Why can't I remember what it's called? Anyway, love this purple. That's all you guys do. And I have several million other designs on the needles, which seems very odd and to me, like a little overwhelming. I'm not used to having so many things on the needles. Like, can't have anything else on 7s because Ellie's sweater's on 7s. Like, I don't have that many 7s. Problems monogamous knitters have. Polygamous ones forget what they're knitting and pick it up and knit it wrong and have to rip it out. And monogamous knitters get a little twitchy when they have to have so many things on the needles. But that's part of the process. I have some purchases as well as another giveaway in addition to the Cyborgs craft room in enabling. Did you bring enabling? That's right. I was the virtuous one last week, or last time we recorded. You get to be the virtuous one this week.
The bag from Fast Scroll is my enabling. Okay. So apples.
Pretty. I love apples. They're my favorite food. I had that conversation with somebody today.
And it is apple season. Forget this pumpkin spice nonsense.
It is apple season. Apple picking season. I had this conversation today at work. Somebody was like, well, apples are my favorite fruit. And I'm like, they are my favorite food. Not just fruit. Food. At least one a day. Sometimes I have to stop myself from having more. But no. So I got this wonderful kit in the mail from Miss Annie Light. In addition to sending me this wonderful kit, she's got a wonderful kit for us to give away to you guys. And then she sent Ellie one of her little sock and totes. Oh, it's so adorable. It's got the same fabric, really sturdy handles. And that bag has just been everywhere. Like, and has carried a book because she loves to read. But in addition to that, my children use poker chips, and I've just found out that my children are not the only ones that do this. Like, I have a coworker whose children also uses poker chips to be like any number of things. Like, they can make sandwiches or mix things up with them. Like, they just become like imaginary, I have a bajillion of them type things in their play. And sometimes it's just fun to throw them in if you're a kid. But anyway, poker chips in the sock and tote, and they were fish to feed the dragons because her brothers like to play dragons. And it just made me smile because it really, I mean, that sort of imaginary play, totally Pippi, right? Like, that was Pippi's world, was all made up and fun, and inanimate objects became other things, and it was just fun. Anyway, so beautiful, wonderful kit. These are not, this kit is not my knee-high sock kit, but it's always completely wonderful to to collaborate with Annie. She's a very generous and creative person. So she kind of took this, I did the knee highs, the Fierce Speckled Friend, and now she's doing another Pippi kit, which is Pippi's Freckles. And so there is this very splattertastic Two Sisters Yarn Co. Pippi's Freckles. It's a variegated speckled yarn. And then she's coordinated that with Beanstalk from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And this green, she knows me well, totally singing my name. And it's like I've been talking about speckles with solids and semi-solids on the podcast nonstop, because it was like, bam! So wonderful. So wonderful. Love that. And all these details are just, she's got it all wrapped up. I've unwrapped it for the purposes of this, and then Ellie enjoyed that she had a little package that had her name on it. And then she's got this Tuft Woolens sock soap, which Ellie was like, can I use this? And I'm like, it's for socks. I mean, I guess maybe you could use it on you. It doesn't say whether or not you're supposed to lather and wash your socks with it. Pippi Mint. Hello. I literally squeed. I didn't know that. It's such a fun turn of phrase. I don't know. And then a little gauge, inch by inch square, and then some wonderful, she always has such fun little stitch markers, so little Pippi on the on there, and the other one is the monkey. But yeah, super fun. I believe Pippi's Freckles, she's got a recommendation to use the Sun Kissed pattern by Veronica Job, or Job, probably Job. And that's free. So if you've got some speckles and a solid that you'd like to do that with. But yeah, Annie's just so generous and wonderful, and I'm so happy that I got my Pippi bag with the kit in there, and that we'll have one to give away to you guys as well. So doo-doo. I believe, and she had this graphic custom made, so super fun, very creative mind for that type of thing, right? And then yes, I did some grief shopping at Simply Sock Yarn because, as I mentioned, there are some colorways of hers. Northern Lights I have and knew that I wanted. I really loved our red, our cherry bomb and spoon. But that wasn't one that was out at Simply Sock Yarn, and so I saw that there was a sweater quantity of Where Dreams Become Reality, and that's one that I've always wanted, and I grabbed it. I had grabby hands and did a little bit of grief shopping at Simply Sock Yarn, and then pointed the masses at it and said, save me from myself, people. If you want a KAL, it was gone fairly quickly. But yes, super pretty. Pinks and oranges. I think she did a really good job with the pink and oranges. Some blues, some pops of blues and purples in there. It'd be kind of like your gamut sweater. Very bright, very bold. But every once in a while you gotta knit one of those. So talented, just looking at it. So there's that, and then this also fell into the cart because it was like somewhere on the periphery. Like you think that you don't fall for those ads, but then you're like, ooh. This is I don't know how to say that. DANX, Danska Landform. I don't know. It's Post Yarn, which is their in-house, the Simply Sock Yarn in-house in Indiana, and it's self-striping Corriedale. So these are Corriedale. Got some more Corriedale. Really loved that very plum and the pink and the pop of teal, and of course that green. It gets me every time. I feel like that's a pop culture reference that I should know, or a reference that I should know. You don't know it? Okay. Well, then I feel less bad. But this fell in the cart with my order from Simply Soft Yarn as well. And so I was less virtuous this week. I did not buy myself new Allbirds in the new colors, though.
You didn't?
Buy myself any? Nope.
I did wear my Allbirds this weekend, and they held up nicely. My feet felt fine.
We've gotten a little cooler for you, so you wear them.
Not quite there yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you wore them too. So you were warm while you were standing on your feet.
Yeah. It was a real test.
Real test.
And they did great.
Yep.
I was standing on a running track, an indoor running track, so it's kind of spongy. It's kind of spongy, but still, the Allbirds were very comfy. No pinching or whatever on the sides. Another pro tip from the folks that do judging is that if you're on your feet all the day, don't tie your shoes. Keep them nice and loose.
Because your feet expand and...
Don't know. Just the pro tip was don't tie your shoes. I was like, okay. Did that with the days that I wasn't wearing the Allbirds. The Allbirds, I just left them tied.
Yeah,
And
they're
they were
pretty.
fine.
Yeah,
They're forgiving.
they are.
But yes, really enjoyed testing them out. Seeing that they were pretty quick. They got a lot of chalk on them though. Gonna have to wash them.
Yep. I've heard they wash up well. I've not had the occasion to need to wash mine yet. So you'll have to let us know.
Okay. Yeah. Still not through washing everything yet from the weekend. Got quite a bit done, but not everything.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I think that I'm done as well.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.